Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tarnished Bronze, your unscripted and unfiltered look into all things comic books. And here we have a real doozy. This is from March 1990. We've got Batman issue 445, and this is coming to you from Marv Wolfman, Jim Aparo, and Mike DeCarlo. Now, this issue also has the glorious, amazing covers of Brian Bolland, and we'll be going into this. I think this is one of the rare instances, this When the Earth Dies saga, where the sequel is better than the original. So the original Ruscio Gotham crossover that was set in Gotham had the KG Beast, and he was slowly destroying all of these CIA and governmental figures in the United States. This is the sequel starring the NKVDemon, and we will be inhabiting Moscow rather than Gotham City. Now, this is actually my first ever purchased back issue. So I probably started reading American comics in around about 1991. I had comic books before that, but it was mostly The Phantom, which is an Australian published comic. And I got into some DC probably in 91, definitely by 92, but I was aware of Batman from the TV series as well. So, this is the first issues that I tried to track down. And then when given the choice, rifling through the back issues, I obviously gravitated to these Brian Bolland issues. And what can I say? I had excellent taste as far as covers go. Now, very striking images. By the way, this story actually holds up. I reread it recently. I enjoyed it as a kid. I enjoy it. I enjoy it now. And if you're interested in some of the other Batman stuff, we have loads of that on the channel, and you can find my thoughts on both what Patrick is kind of getting on with and what I was getting on with as a kid. But to cut a long story short, Jim Aparo is basically one of the most low-key, amazing, consistent artists. He's just ultra dependable, doesn't have as much sort of stylistic gravitas as your Mignolias or your Don Newtons or your Jim Starlins or your more modern sort of artists like Kelly Jones, but he's just so solid. And in the start of this issue is one of the best sort of opening scenes. We've got the slasher here. We've got Bruce using his knowledge of Gotham City to be able to track this guy down. We've got a great look. We've got pouches. We've got we're into the 90s here. We've definitely kind of like not doing those stared pedestrian kind of layouts. And so chapter one here, Red Square, Bloody Square, starts in Gotham. And just look at this. Look at this beautiful, beautiful Batman in the corner there, just lurking. Almost like a Christ-like figure there, just hovering over Gotham City, suffering for the sins of Gotham City, some might say. So we'll get, just great sense of place from Jim Aparo. And then we have this sort of scene where the slasher is trying to evade Batman. The slasher definitely needs another run at the title here, but I think this is his only appearance. And the coloring works, the momentum works, the kinetic action. Jim Aparo just draws these great scenes and great layouts. So whereas Jim's Brave and the Bold issues might all have that sort of conventional 6-panel grid, and we've got a few of those Brave and the Bolds that we harken back to on the channel. You can see here that he's shaking up his layouts, doing a really fine sort of conveying of the labyrinth and the alleyways and the Byzantine kind of like locale of Gotham. Now, for one reason or another, the KGB sort of officials get in touch with Commissioner Gordon, and basically the fallout from the KG Beast episodes is that the KG Beast protege has gone crazy, and he has another death list similar to that original KGB Knights of the Beast death list, but this time it's targeting Moscow officials. And so somehow Batman kind of finagles Bruce Wayne to be able to do a business trip. It's Glasnost. The Soviet Union is opening up. The wall is down at this point. The wall is probably down during the production of this, maybe, but there's definitely a wind of change in the air. And Wind of Change, of course, that fantastic Scorpions song may or may not have been written with the aid of the CIA. But here we have the big reveal. So Batman is in some sort of nondescript Moskva uh, cemetery, and fantastic reveal. Just he's got a great sort of like, this is someone who you could see, being an NKV demon. He's got the mask, he's got all the accoutrement, he's kind of like Deadpool before, but just slightly less pouches, just great look. So he's wearing the nondescript sort of dark green cloak, and then he comes out with his red and blues. Kind of fantastic stuff here. Really great stuff. And of course, then we have the fisticuffs, and Jim Aparo knows how to do that. He doesn't go quite as crazy as some would like, but nonetheless, there's a little bit of heft there, and I like how it's kind of a bit tit for tat. Yeah, really excellent stuff. But Batman can't take him down. He can't take him down, and the Moscow police aren't really playing fair. So Batman is trying to take him sort of out rather than take him down. And definitely the Moscow NKVD is not about taking this guy down. They're about taking this guy out. And there's some great cartooning here. Look at the coloring by Adrienne Roy, really doing some fantastic stuff. The demon there is just blinded. We get into this more, and this is kind of like harkening back to those original slasher scenes where they're running now through Moscow, and it seems like the KG Beast is the person who knows where to go. And so the KG Beast the NKV Demon manages to evade all of these sort of police officers, all of these traps that are set for him, and the Batman himself. And so that brings us into part two. They've got to try and, like, the NKV Demon has revealed himself. Batman has revealed himself in Moscow. The NKV Demon has escaped to live to fight another day. And, I'm just along for the ride. I'm along for the ride in 2025. I'm along for the ride in 92 or 93 whenever I pick this back issue up. This is just a really well-crafted issue. Once again, the colors in this era of Batman are top-notch. Aparo and De Carlo are doing really good. The atmosphere on the cover is translated well inside, and the kinetics of the slasher and the kinetics of the NKV Demon are just really good. We're going to get into the next issue and the third part and final part of this issue in a little bit later. But this is also bringing in Vicky Vale. So you've got to remember, 1990 is a year after that massive Batman movie. Vicky Vale, I think, is the sort of romantic Bruce Wayne interest there. She starts to make appearances here, and I think she'll kind of stay pretty much through like the pre-Nightfall stuff. Almost through to the Nightfall era. So, yeah, great use of here, and also got the kind of onset of the Tim Drake Robin. So plenty of stuff here. When I bought this back issue, I wasn't really aware that comics were crypto and we were in this big back issue bubble. This would be 1992. So this is when the everything is really going gangbusters as far as comic books. So I'm just really disappointed that I can't flog these issues off for, hundreds of dollars a piece, because there's just so many of them. But don't let that deter you from investigating this Batman issue. 445, we'll cover 446 and 447 later on in the channel. Thanks for having me, and thanks for listening. Like, follow, subscribe, and check out our Batman and other content on the page. So we will see you shortly.